What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at the new MegaCapitalG Link monster. It has been confirmed, and this card is fucking ridiculous. Like, the more that I'm reading this card, the more I think this card is actually broken. When I first read it, I was like, oh, this is a pretty solid card. But then I started thinking all the possibilities that this card could have, and I was like, this card's fucking nuts. Like, I think Konami made this card a little too good, but let's go ahead and read it. This is Heavymetalfoes Electrum, and actually, guys, I believe at this point, the leak list for the Link Frames pack, I think we can pretty much confirm it. There won't be any anime archetype support, so no Fluffle, no Lunar Lights, no Melodious in here, but we should be getting an Evil Swarm Link monster. We should also be getting a Gem Knight Link monster, and I say that because every single archetype that was on that list, like so far, it's been accurate. Burning Abyss, Hieratics, MegaCapitalfoes was on the list as well, so far it's been completely accurate, and I'll try to dig up the list, but it is 6:30 in the morning, so Capchi's a little tired. Hopefully I don't make any mistakes on this video. You guys will kill me. Anyways, Link 2, it is a fire psychic type because MegaCapitalfoes are psychic and fire. I don't know why they're psychic. It's never really been explained, but whatever. They should have been machine, or I guess warrior would have been kind of redundant. Anyways, 1800 attack, and the link points are bottom left and bottom right, as almost every link monster in this set has been. Another Link 2. Now, the materials are what makes this card kind of crazy for me, but you know, the effects are obviously like really good as well. It requires 2 Pendulum monsters, not 2 MegaCapitalfoes, 2 Pendulum monsters, and you'll understand why that is incredibly crazy when I start getting into the effects. The third effect is the hard once per turn. Effect number 1, if this card is link summoned, place 1 Pendulum monster from your main deck face up in your extra deck. So at first I saw that and I was like, okay, it's kind of like what Zephraf does, a little bit of a I guess you could call it a foolish burial for pendulums, and I was like, we're not starting off on the biggest, on the best foot. But then when I read the second and third effect, I was like, okay, I think we're getting somewhere. I think this card is fucking pretty damn good. The second effect says once per turn you can target 1 face-up card you control, except this card, destroy that card, and if you do, add 1 face-up pendulum monster in your extra deck to your hand. So as soon as I saw this effect, I was like, yo, this is such a MegaCapitalfoes card. I tell you what, this card just feels so MegaCapitalfoes because obviously all the MegaCapitalfoes pendulum monsters have that effect. So this is obviously good. MegaCapitalfoes players they're used to this. They're used to blowing up their own cards. They're used to blowing up their skills, whether it be combination, whether it be monsters like Bio Baboon, like they're used to blowing up their shit. So this is something that fits perfectly in line with them. But the third effect is where shit really got crazy. It says, if a card in your pendulum zone leaves the field, draw 1 card. This is really amazing because number 1, this can activate on either player's turn, and number 2, it does not have to be by your doing. In fact, the pendulum card does not even have to be destroyed. It just has to leave that zone. Even if your opponent is playing around with new things, obviously stuff like Cosmic Cyclone to, you know, make it so that your MegaCapitalfoes cards get banished forever, this card will still activate. And what's even more crazy about this is the way that I'm understanding this card, guys. Let's just say that you had, I don't know, Gold Driver is the only card in your entire hand, right? But you have Electrum on the field. I believe that you can just activate your Gold Driver in the pendulum scale. You can blow it up. You can get the Gold Driver right back to your hand, and then you get to draw a card as well. And who knows, maybe you draw another pendulum scale and you get the pendulum summon and pop off on your opponent, because what it says here is you blow up the card first. It says destroy that card, and if you do, then you get to add the pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So you blow the card up, it goes to the extra deck, and you can actually get that same exact card, and then you get to draw a card for freezies. I mean, this card feels fantastic for MegaCapitalfoes, not only because it gives them the link points that they need. I think MegaCapitalfoes deserved a link monster and that they needed it, but it basically incorporates everything that MegaCapitalfoes players have already been accustomed to. The reason I think that this card is absolutely nuts is because this card is so incredibly splashable. If you guys think about the pendulum mechanic and and you think about the most successful Pendulum cards that we've, or the most successful Pendulum decks that we've had historically, MegaCapitalfoes and Performages and Pals, and right now Pendulum Magicians, you guys know that these decks like to blow up their cards in their Pendulum scales a lot. If you look at the Pendulum Magician deck right now, I believe, I'm not sure if it's Purple Poison or Black Fang, but I'm pretty sure a lot of those damn Pendulum Magicians blow themselves up. They like activate their effects and then they blow themselves up. So in that situation, they would basically just let you draw a card. This card would let you draw if this was on the field. You also have the Pendulum Graph spell and Trap. The Trap lets you take your Pendulum monsters that are in your Pendulum zones and kind of use them as Scrap Dragon type effects. So imagine being able to get that and being able to draw at the same time. Or if you had the spell, imagine being able to blow up your Pendulum scales, like draw a card and then get the search as well. Or if you have something like Performapow Pendulum Sorcerer, what I'm saying is obviously Pendulum Magicians, whether it be Wavering Eyes or what, they're pretty damn used to blowing up their cards. MegaCapitalfoes are pretty damn used to blowing up their cards. This card just works perfectly for these decks. Maybe in something like Dynomist, it wouldn't be quite as easy to use, but let's be real, if you're playing Dynomist, you're gonna run this shit too, because Dynomist can still make things like Bahamut Shark, which can go into Totally Awesome. So if you happen to have this on the field, you can definitely bring back that Bahamut Shark Totally Awesome play, and I think it goes even deeper than that. The reason that I say that MegaCapitalfoes deserved a Link Monster more than any other Pendulum deck is when you look at MegaCapitalfoes, like they're Pendulum based, so obviously they want to be able to massively Pendulum summon from hand and extra, and the real problem is they're fusion based as well. Like they're not like Cleafort. Like MegaCapitalfoes are kind of locked down when they go into Mithrium. When they go into their fusion monsters, their extra deck zone is clogged, so they can't do any Pendulum summoning from their deck, from their extra deck, and that kind of sucks because they're kind of designed to blow their cards up and then summon from that extra deck. And if you have one of those fusion monsters like Alkahest that wants to stay on the field for multiple turns, then you're just, do you get rid of your Alkahest so that you can Pendulum summon? Do you keep it on the field and try and make advantage from him? It's just, I don't know. I felt like Master Rule 4 put like a deck like MegaCapitalfoes in a really shitty position. You guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of the Pendulum mechanic as a whole, but I do think fair is fair is fair, and I like to see fairness when it comes to archetypes. So I think that this is definitely deserved, and I gotta give Konami credit, man. They designed an excellent card. Not gonna lie, I kind of wish that it said like 2 MegaCapitalfoes cards to make it, because I already know, like, if you're playing Pendulum Magicians, if this card is out today, you're playing this card today. This card is literally too good in Pendulum decks for you not to play. Like, this card is just that good. This is an A-level card. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. It is 6:30 in the morning as I shot this video, so I'm sure I fucked up on something. And if I didn't fuck up on something in the video, then there will be a spelling error in the title of the video, because I don't know, that is typical Cap G. Just like this card is so MegaCapitalfoes, that would be so Cap G. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on those notifications for daily videos. Oh, also, are you guys excited? Because yeah, apparently we are getting a Gem Knight link and an Evil Swarm link, according to the leaks, unless I guess those are just inaccurate, which that wouldn't make any sense at this point.